June 12, 2025. Air India Flight 171 lifts off from Ahmedabad, bound for London, carrying 242 dreams. 30 seconds later, it plunges into a medical hospital, erupting in flames. 241 souls are lost, along with 19 on the ground. India's deadliest air disaster in decades. Only one man, in Seat 11A, walks away from the wreckage. A teenager's shaky video captures the plane's final moments, spreading across the world. What caused this tragedy? And how do we honor the lives it stole? This is the story of Flight 171. Air India Flight 171 was no ordinary flight. It was a bridge between worlds, Ahmedabad's vibrant chaos to London's global pulse. On June 12, 2025, a Boeing 787-8 Dreamliner, gleaming with Air India's red and gold livery, stood ready at Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel International Airport. Aboard were 242 people, 169 Indian nationals, 53 Britons, 7 Portuguese, and 1 Canadian. They were families, students, workers, and dreamers, each with a story cut short. Among them was Dr. Prateek Joshi, a radiologist at Royal Derby Hospital. He boarded with his wife and 3 young children, likely excited for a trip to London, perhaps show their kids a new city. The Derby Hindu temple later spoke of their loss, a family that radiated warmth, now a void in their community. Then there was Vishwashkamar Ramesh, a 38-year-old British national in Seat 11A, traveling with his brother Ajay. Vishwashkamar would become the sole survivor, his story a flicker of hope in the darkness. The crew, led by Captain Sumit Sabharwal, included members like Singson, a cabin attendant and the sole breadwinner for her mother and brother in India. They were professionals trained to navigate a Boeing 787, a modern marvel that had carried 1 billion passengers since its debut. Ahmedabad's airport buzzed that day, a hub for India's booming aviation scene, fueled by ambition and growth. For most, this was a routine flight, a journey home, a holiday, a new beginning. But in less than a minute, it became a tragedy that would shake a nation. It's 1:39 p.m. local time in Ahmedabad. Flight 171 rolls down the runway, its engines roaring as it climbs to 625 feet. 30 seconds after takeoff, something goes wrong. The lights flicker. The plane feels stuck in the air, as Vishwashkamar later recalls. At 8:09 and 5 seconds Greenwich Mean Time, Captain Sabharwal issues a desperate call. Thrust not achieved. Mayday! 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 6 seconds later, at 8 hours, 9 minutes, and 11 seconds, the Boeing 787 crashes into a medical student's hostel, bursting into flames. The impact is catastrophic. 241 on board and 19 on the ground are killed. A teenager named Aryan Asari, visiting his father in Ahmedabad, stands on a terrace nearby. He's filming planes for fun, hoping to catch a cool takeoff. Instead, his camera captures horror. It was shaking, moving left and right. He later tells BBC Gujarati his grainy video, showing the plane's erratic descent, goes viral, shared across X and news outlets, becoming the world's window into the disaster. Aryan, who'd eaten lunch with his sister just hours before, never imagined his footage would carry such weight. The crash site is chaos. The 787, carrying 125,000 liters of fuel for a 10-hour flight, ignites, leaving bodies charred beyond recognition. Vishwashkamar, seated on the plane's left side, finds a miracle. My door broke down and I saw a small space, he tells DD News from his hospital bed. I unbuckled, pushed through, and crawled out. His brother Ajay, seated elsewhere, doesn't make it. Vishwashkamar's wounds are visible, blood on his shirt, a limp, but his survival defies the odds. Rescue teams swarm the site, but the fire's intensity, as Home Minister Amit Shah notes, leaves no chance for most. The hostel, home to medical students, becomes a tomb for 19, including a tea seller's son and students eating lunch. The tragedy scale, 260 lives lost, stuns Ahmedabad, a city unaccustomed to such devastation. Investigators descend on the wreckage, led by India's Aircraft Accident Investigation Bureau, with help from Boeing, the UK, and the US. Both black boxes, the cockpit voice recorder and flight data recorder, are recovered, offering clues to the mystery. A preliminary report released July 12, 2025, reveals a chilling detail. Seconds after takeoff, the fuel control switches moved to the cutoff position, starving the engines. How or why remains unclear. Was it human error, a mechanical glitch, or something else? The Wall Street Journal reports the plane's ram air turbine, a last resort emergency power system, deployed during takeoff, raising questions about engine function. Air India insists the 787's maintenance history was clean, but public skepticism grows. Ex-posts reflect outrage, with users like @mylovely_Bart questioning pilot blame and calling for systemic fixes. The Indian Commercial Pilots Association pushes back, urging against snap judgments. The report offers no closure, just speculation. One pilot group tells BBC. Air India responds swiftly, grounding 15% of its flights and inspecting all 33 Boeing 787s in its fleet. By mid-July, 26 are cleared, but the damage is done. The crash fuels debates about India's aviation safety, already strained by airspace closures from India-Pakistan tensions, costing airlines like Air India $600 million in extra fuel and delays. Captain Subwal and his crew face scrutiny, but their families, like Singh Singh's, plead for fairness. Her cousin, Titanglingo Haokip, tells BBC she was her family's lifeline, now gone. Ahmedabad reels. Families wait outside hospitals, relying on DNA tests to identify loved ones, as Dr. Meenakshi Parikh, dean of BJ Medical College, confirms the grim task. The Derby Hindu temple mourns Dr. Joshi, his wife, and their 3 children, whose loss leaves a hole in their UK community. In Mumbai, Imtiaz Ali Syed buries his brother Javed, sister-in-law Mariam, and their kids Zain and Amani, who've been celebrating Eid in India. Their first family reunion in 15 years ended in tragedy. This isn't just a local loss. It's a blow to Air India's revival under Tata's ownership since 2022. The airline, aiming to be a global leader, now faces questions about its aging fleet and safety protocols. India's aviation market, one of the world's fastest growing, is at a crossroads. New carriers like Air Kerala launch with promise, but crashes like this expose risks. Geopolitical tensions, forcing reroutes over longer paths, add pressure. The crash of Flight 171, India's worst since 1996, demands answers. The wreckage of Flight 171 lies silent, but its echo is deafening. 260 lives, Dr. Joshi and his family, Singh Singh, Javed and his kids, and so many others, were stolen in seconds. Vishwash Kumar Ramesh carries his brother's coffin, a survivor haunted by loss. Yet, in Ahmedabad's grief, there's resilience. This city, these families will rebuild. We can honor the fallen by demanding safer skies. Air India's inspections are a start, but systemic change, better training, modern fleets, global cooperation is urgent. Support the families through relief funds, like those Air India has set up in Ahmedabad. Share this story to keep their memory alive. Let's ensure the dreams of 260 souls and the pain of one survivor aren't forgotten. This video honors the victims of Air India Flight 171. Our hearts are with Ahmedabad and beyond. Subscribe to join us in telling stories that matter, and let's push for a safer future.